Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Rise and Grind. We have some great stuff to talk about this morning because I'm telling you that's it's just forget it. Just forget it. I can't take it anymore. It's something that I'm starting to hear around this industry a little bit more, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as we make it through the day today. So I'm going to get set up. I think I got to go over here, and I'm still working on the best way and most efficient way to do this. So y'all just come on in here. Start bringing everybody in here, making sure you're sharing the post and all that good stuff. Start getting everybody in here for a little rise and grind. And I've got that set up, and boom. Good morning, my friends and family. My name is Glenn Lundy. I am the host of Hashtag Rise and Grind, and I am a husband to one, a father to six, and the general manager of the second largest used car volume dealership in the country, Dan Cummins Chevrolet and Buick. And I am here with you this morning to talk about how I just can't take it anymore. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get everybody going this morning. Let's see what we got. Nick Hadley's up in here this morning, my man Nick Hadley. Aaron Jones, what's up, my man? Robbie Toomey, Prince, good morning. Scott Simons and Clayton Lesack. Darian Sanders, of course, is rising and grinding. Carrie Osborne, the Cupcake Queen, in here rising and grinding. Do I see Jeremy Linden? My man, Jeremy Linden, is in here rising and grinding this morning, and that is awesome. What's up, Stephanie, Sean Hayes, Carla Stamper, Alan Smith, Nathan Livel. What's up, guys? Last day of the month, January 31st, 2018. My mom got on me yesterday because I said 2017, but y'all know how that is. 2018. Josh Cummins up in here in the Rise and Grind. Wake up, he says. And Josh Cummins is in the group, guys. Josh posted yesterday about a lunar eclipse, I guess, right after this show, starting at 5:51 on the East Coast over here. There's going to be a neat celestial event that only happens once every 100 years. Super, super neat. So we'll check that out after we get off the Rise and Grind. Maybe take some pictures of that for those that are sleeping in this morning. Mathis says he needs 2 more cars out. That's awesome, Mathis. We'll get you those too. So good, you guys, good morning. Again, it is Wednesday, January 31st, last day of the month. January has been an interesting month for everybody across the auto industry, and I know at Dan Cummins, we have made sure to just continue to build and get as healthy as we can, and January has been a very healthy month for us. We've had some struggles, some ups and downs, but it's been incredibly healthy for us all. But with that said, I want to tell you guys, I am super, super excited about something that we got going on that's happening here in the next week. I'm just incredibly excited about it. Now, in order for you to understand my excitement, I kind of got to give you a little bit of background on me that you may or may not know. But you see, a while back, this was probably, let's see, kids, do some math. Okay, so this was about 12 years ago. 12 years ago, about 12. Gosh, my goodness, I'm getting old and time is passing by. But about 12 years ago, I worked for a company called 2020 Companies. Now, this company, what they did is they allowed me to travel all over the United States. I traveled around the United States opening sales offices for this company, okay? Basically, it was when fiber optic lines were just coming in and you were able to start to bundle your internet, your telephone, and your television all together. And it was my job to travel around, open sales offices, set them up for salespeople. And then the salespeople and the sales managers that they would put in place would go door to door and allow people to know that, hey, now's a good time you can switch over to fiber optic. So I lived in hotels kind of all over, popped around all over the East Coast, jumping from hotel to hotel, doing my thing and opening sales offices. And in that period of time, I was kind of lost in my life. I had lost custody of my daughter. I had lost, a lot of faith in myself. And so I was just kind of day to day, just kind of blown through the motions. I had been in the auto industry prior to that for a really long time, and I was sick of the auto industry. I didn't want anything to do with it anymore. I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want anything to deal with it. So I was just floating around trying to figure something new. Now, in that time, I'd got an email one day, and the email told me that I was up in Buffalo, New York. I remember I was up in Buffalo sitting in a hotel room just trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I got an email saying that I had to go down to Lexington, Kentucky. Okay? Now, Lexington, Kentucky, for those of you that have never, for those of you that are from Lexington, Kentucky, let me tell you something, that people that aren't from Lexington, Kentucky have no idea what's in Lexington, Kentucky, okay? If you're not from Kentucky and you never heard it, most people are like, what is Kentucky? They got some horses, they got some basketball or something like that. But I had no idea why I was going to Lexington, Kentucky or what I was going to do in Lexington, Kentucky. And so I traveled down to Lexington, and I'm driving around. I'm trying to get set up and find a hotel or all that stuff, just trying to get set up. And as I'm doing so, I'm starting to see some signs, okay? Like, for example, there's an auto group here that was called Glenn Auto Group. And so I'm looking around on the license plate frames of cars, and I see Glenn everywhere. Glenn, Glenn, Glenn. I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, this is kind of cool. And then there's a company called Lundy's Catering, and they have these big trucks that they drive around that say Lundy on the side of them, Lundy's Catering. So I'm driving around, I'm seeing Glenn Lundy, Glenn Lundy, Glenn Lundy, Glenn Lundy, and I'm thinking, this might be, maybe I need to be in Lexington, Kentucky. Maybe this is God's way of saying, hey, this is the place you need to be. So I went to an Outback Steakhouse one night, and I'm sitting at the Outback, and I end up sitting next to this little redhead guy. He actually is in the group right here this morning, but I'm sitting next to this little redhead guy named Aaron Jones, and we get to talking and just get to knowing each other a little bit, and I spend a couple weeks in Lexington hanging out with him. He shows me the sights. He shows me the place, and I'm thinking, this might be interesting. But I go ahead and I pack up and I leave, and I go back to San Diego and doing some other stuff. And a few months goes by, and I get a call from Aaron Jones. And Aaron and I talk, and he needs a roommate, and I'm not really doing much with my life. I've got nothing. My credit's toast. I've burned every bridge I could possibly burn. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's take the leap. And let's move to Lexington, Kentucky. I knew this one guy, man. Isn't it powerful sometimes how you can run into one person in one conversation and completely change your life? Isn't that powerful? It happens all the time, man. When you go out there and you actually put yourself in some environments where you can experience those things, it's crazy. It's crazy how one very important person can change your life. So I'm scared to death, of course, to make the move because I only know this one guy, and I really don't know what the heck I'm doing, and I've burned tons of bridges, and I don't have much. I've got $1,500 cash, and I got a suitcase full of clothes. That's all I've got to my name, and I hop on a plane, and I fly to Lexington, Kentucky. I show up at the airport. I call Aaron Jones. He doesn't answer his phone. I keep texting. I keep calling. And there's no answer. Here I am in this crazy place. I don't know anybody. I don't know a soul. I'm stuck at the airport, and I'm going, what did I do? And I'm freaking out, and I'm panicking, and I'm trying to call people back in Arizona. And finally, Aaron Jones, my man, I guess his phone had died, and he was doing something. But finally, Aaron Jones comes and picks me up at the airport. And my life in Kentucky started at that point, man. It started at that point. It started when my life that I have today with my wife and my 5 kids and my incredible job at Dan Cummins Chevrolet and Buick and all the friends and family members that I have now, all of that started when I finally said, forget it. I can't take it anymore. I just can't take it anymore. I've got to uproot. I've got to start over. I got to do something new. I can't take it anymore, and I'm going to take whatever risks I got to do to make it happen. And here's why I'm super excited. I am super excited this morning because there is a guy named Chuck Miller, okay? There's a guy named Chuck Miller who is in Kansas City, Missouri, and he has said, forget it, I just can't take it anymore. He's selling everything that he owns. He's selling everything that he owns. He's changing his job. The place that he's at right now, okay, the place that Chuck's at right now, he's just miserable. He's just plain miserable where he's at. They've given him broken promise after broken promise. His entire management staff in the dealership quit. The entire staff, okay, entire management. He has had customers that have wanted to buy cars, and he couldn't sign them up. They wouldn't even sign the customer up because they had no finance person. What kind of industry, for those of us that work in the auto industry, what kind of industry are we in where when people want to buy something, you can't even sell it to them because you don't have leadership in place? I mean, this is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. So Chuck is miserable. He's broken promises. He's got no training, absolutely no training. He's unmotivated, doesn't go and want to go to work. Things are stale. Things are stagnant, etc. Any of you guys feel that way? Any of you guys rising and grinding this morning, and yeah, you're rising and grinding, and you're getting the positive stuff from the group, but then you're still going, oh my gosh, man, I don't want to go to this place. I don't want to do this anymore. Just forget it. I can't take it. Any of you guys feel that way? I know sometimes I used to feel that way. I don't feel that way anymore. Thank goodness, because I made the leap. And so Chuck's making the leap. He's moving out here, and we're helping Chuck. We're helping Chuck. Josh Cummins gave me a phone number, and we reached out to a guy in the community that owns some properties, and we're helping Chuck, get a nice little rental place so he can make the move. And Chuck's always had a demo. He doesn't even have a car, so he's renting a car so that he can get here. And I asked Chuck, I said, Chuck, once you get here, you don't have a car. How are you going to get to work every day? And he said, Glenn, I'll walk. I'll ride a bike. I don't care. I don't care what it takes to get to work every day. All I know is that I need a change. I can't take it anymore. I have to do something different, and I have to do it now. He knows one person. He knows me. That's it. And unlike Aaron Jones, I plan on answering the phone when he shows up. When he gets here to Kentucky, I'm all he knows, man. He's putting his complete faith. He's putting complete faith in this change. And that's exciting to me. It's full circle. It's an opportunity for me to do for him what some people have done for me, like when Josh Cummins gave me an opportunity at Dan Cummins when no one else would. I now get to give Chuck an opportunity when he doesn't have opportunity where he's at now. It's an opportunity. So here's some things that we can learn from Chuck this morning. Chuck is our inspiration today. All day long, I want you guys to hop on Chuck Miller's feed. Hop on Chuck Miller's Facebook page just all day long, since we're the Rise and Grind group and we encourage and motivate. I just want you to hop in there on his page and just post stuff. Post stuff all day. Be like, Chuck, way to go. Chuck, way to take the leap. Motivation. You know why? Because Chuck is scared. I promise Chuck is scared. And he's scared, but he's facing that fear. And that's one of the things. There's 7 things that we're going to get through, and hopefully quickly. So if you're taking notes, be ready, because I'm going to fire through these. We got a lunar eclipse. But there's 7 things that we're going to learn from Chuck today, okay? And the first thing is, if you really want to make the change, if you really are planning on changing, you're just forget it, I can't take it anymore, you want to do something different, you have to be willing to face your fears, okay? I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not going to be scary. I guarantee you Chuck is scared to death. I guarantee you I was scared to death when I made the leap. The fear doesn't just go away. It's there, but you have to be willing to face your fear, okay? Face it. Head on. Know that it's going to be there. Expect it. Embrace it. You know how, in football or whatever, if you know to expect the impact, you can brace yourself for it. Expect it. The fear is going to be there. It's not going to be gone. Now, secondly, you have to be prepared to sell yourself. Okay? The number one person that's going to try to talk you out of making this decision when you just say, forget it, I can't take it anymore, and I'm making a change, the number one person that's going to try to affect that decision is you. So you have to be prepared to sell yourself. I've noticed a couple times over the last few weeks as Chuck has been making this transition, all of a sudden he'll pop like a question into my message or a question into my feed. And that question really isn't because he wants an answer to the question. The question is because his brain is starting to try to talk him out, like it's going, no! Don't do it, dude. Don't go. Don't move. Don't make a leap. Oh, my gosh, that's a long way. That's scary. Well, you should do this. Maybe you should do this instead. Maybe you should try this. Maybe you should hang out here for just another week. Maybe if you give it another month, it'll give it a chance. Maybe if this guy gets fired, then you'll get that opportunity. Or maybe all of a sudden they'll just completely change it. And so all this is going to happen. You got to be willing. You got to be ready to sell yourself, man. You got to be prepared to sell yourself. No, hey, my dream's on the other side of this. I'm going to sell all this stuff. I'm going to move across the country. I'm going to give all this away because that's the only way I can get there. You got to sell yourself. You got to be your own rally cry. Third thing that you're going to have to do is you are going to have to ignore the naysayers. Ignore the naysayers because there's going to be a ton of them. When you go to, I know, Leanne, lunar eclipse, I'm hurrying. There's going to be a ton of naysayers. There's going to be people telling you can't do it, you shouldn't do it, you won't do it, blah, 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 blah. They're going to be there. They're going to exist. Okay, ignore the naysayers. Fourth thing that you're going to need to do is you need to see past the problems. One thing I've noticed that Chuck's done really good is he's got some problems with making this move, man. How was I going to get a car? Where am I going to live? All these decisions, you know. You got to be able to see past the problems and see the prize. What is the ultimate prize? What is it that you want? Why is this change so important? Keep your eyes on that. Stay focused on the prize. Fifth thing that you have to do is you have to know that you are not alone. And this one's huge. You have to know that you are not alone. There is a God in the heaven who loves you, your creator, your father, who will protect you at times like this. When you make these big, that's why they call them leaps of faith. When you make a leap of faith, your Father in heaven applauds. He is excited. He is thrilled for you, and he will protect you. You are not alone in these leaps. Chuck is not moving across this country all by himself, I promise. He's moving across this country with Almighty God, the Father above, because God doesn't want you to be stale. He doesn't want you to be stagnant. He doesn't want you to be stuck. He wants you to be excited like I am. I'm excited for Chuck. Number 6. Number 6, just forget it. Can't take it anymore. You got to remember, you got to rise and grind, okay? If you're going to make a leap of faith, if you're going to move all the way across the country, if you're going to sacrifice and change and sell everything you own, it's like Chuck, when he gets here, that boy better be ready to rise and grind. I can tell you right now, if he comes out here and half-asses or is lazy or anything like that, if he thinks he's coming out here and just going to ride the wave and it's going to be cool and he can start sleeping in and all that stuff, he's got it mixed up. If you're going to completely change your life and uproot and you're going to take a leap of faith, man, I got to let you know, you are better be prepared to rise and grind every single day. Every single day. And the last thing you're going to do, if you're just sick of it, just forget it, can't take it anymore. And I know I'm rushing through these. Maybe we'll catch back up a little bit later because we got this lunar eclipse. But the last thing is you got to let go of the ball and chains, man. Look, man, when they fill up a hot air balloon, it's just, when they got the ball and chains on it, it's just held there to the ground and it's wanting to go up and the helium's rising and it's trying to go, but it can't go because of the anchors. You got to let go of all the balls and chains, man. You got to cut them. Just cut the ties. Just cut them. Forget it. Those bad people in your life, those bad mentors in your life, the bad habits that are in your life, all the stuff that's holding you down, that's keeping you from rising, you got to cut them. You got to cut them. All right? Stop letting people in the auto industry, I got to tell you this right now, and then we're going to get off here. Stop letting the industry bully you around. Just stop it. You have a right to demand certain things. You have a right to be in a work environment that is where people are going to treat you like a human being. They're going to treat you right. They're going to train you. They're going to give you the things that you need to be successful. Just because it was done a certain way for all these years doesn't mean it has to be that way anymore. If you are rising and grinding today and you are not excited to get to work, then you need to take a look at your environment. You need to take a look at what's going on. And at some point, you're going to have to say, I can't take this anymore. And at that point, you better be willing to face your fears, prepared to sell yourself. You need to be ready to ignore the naysayers. You need to be ready to see past the problems. You need to know that you're not alone. You need to rise and grind, and you need to let go of those ball and chains so that you can rise to the top. Stop it. Stop it. That's all I'm saying. I got to go. I'm going to go check out this lunar eclipse, and then I'm going to go to the gym. I got to work on these guns right here. But, hey, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to The Rise and Grind. Do me a favor. Share the feed. Share the feed. Share the feed. People need to hear this. There's people out there stuck. Share it. Let's get it out there. I love you. Hey, you guys got to know something. You got to know that you're truly an amazing human being. You are part of a select group of people that actually rise and grind. You are making a difference on this planet in your own life daily. Your decision to outright get it done is contagious. It's fuel for all of those around you that also want to leave their mark. You are special. You are important. You are a winner because today and every day you rise and grind. Have a great day, guys. God bless. See you later.